Shalom. I want to call this video Numbers 1 and 18, the stumbling block. Let's get into it. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 1, verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of their names, from 20 years old and upward by their polls, as the Lord commanded Moses, so he numbered them in the wilderness of Sinai. So the doctrine is, if your father is an Israelite, you're automatically an Israelite baby. I want to go into a couple scriptures. I want to look into a couple scriptures to kind of contend with that a little bit. And I want to go to the book of Malachi, chapter 2, verse 11. Judah has dealt treacherously, and an abomination is committed in Israel and in Jerusalem. For Judah has profaned the holiness of the Lord, which he loved, and has married the daughter of a strange god. The Lord will cut off the man who doeth this, the master and the scholar, out of the tabernacles of Jacob, and him that offereth an offering unto the Lord of hosts. And this have ye done again, covering the altar of the Lord with tears, with weeping, and with crying out, insomuch that he regardeth not the offering any more, or receiveth it with good will at your hand. Yet ye say, wherefore? Because the Lord has been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, against whom thou hast dealt treacherously, yet she is thy companion, and the wife of thy covenant, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. And did not he make one? Yet had he the residue of the Spirit, and wherefore one, that he might seek a godly seed. Therefore take heed to your spirit, and let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth. So you cannot bring forth a godly seed with any other woman besides the woman of your tribe. And I ain't talking about no Mexicans and Indians. I'm talking about that Negro woman, that Israelite woman that came over here with you. You know? It says, and did he not make one, yet had he the residue of the Spirit, and wherefore one, that he might seek a godly seed. The only way an Israelite man can create a godly seed is with the wife of his covenant, the woman of his kindred. You can't go outside of that. Let's go to the book of Ezra real quick. Let me get the book of Ezra. The book of Ezra, and I want to go to chapter 9. And let's read. This is verse 1. Now, when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to their abominations, even of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves and for their sons, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Yea, the hand of the princes and rulers have been chief in this trespass. And when I heard this thing, I rent my garment and my mantle, and plucked off my hair off my head and off my beard, and sat down astonished. Let me reread that, I messed up. And when I heard this thing, I rent my garment and my mantle, and plucked off the hair of my head and of my beard, and sat down astonished. Right? Let's drop down to verse 6. This is Ezra making a prayer, and said, O my God, I am ashamed and blush to lift up my face to thee, my God. For Our iniquities are increased over our head, and our trespass is grown up into the heavens. Since the days of our fathers have we been in great trespass unto this day for our iniquities. Have we, our kings and our priests, been delivered into the hands of the kings of the lands, to the sword, to captivity, to a spoil, and to confusion of face, as it is this day? So, when Israel was going into these other women, it's by the seed of the father. It doesn't matter who the mother is. That caused us to be cast off. The mother is just as important as where you lay your seed, bruh. That woman has to be a wife of your covenant. Verse 12 in Ezra 9, it says, Now therefore give not your sons unto their sons. Now therefore give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons, nor seek their peace or their wealth forever, that ye may be strong and eat the good of the land, and leave it for an inheritance to your children forever. I want to go to Deuteronomy chapter 7 real quick. And then after that, we're going to go Deuteronomy 23. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hast cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shalt thou not give to his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son, for they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. Deuteronomy 23 real quick, and let's start from verse 2. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord. An Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever, because they met you not with bread and with water in the way when you came forth out of Egypt, because they hired against thee Balaam, the son of Beor of Pethor of Mesopotamia, to curse thee. Nevertheless, the Lord thy God would not hearken unto Balaam, but the Lord thy God turned the curse into a blessing unto thee, because the Lord thy God loved thee. Thou shalt not seek their peace nor prosperity all thy days forever. Let's go back to Ezra 9. We're going to go back to Ezra 9 real quick. Let's go back to Ezra chapter 9, verse 12. One more time. Let's get a refresher real quick. Verse 9 and Ezra chapter 9, verse 12. It says, Now therefore give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons, nor seek their peace or their wealth forever, that ye may be strong and eat the good of the land, and leave it for an inheritance to your children forever. Now, I want to go to Exodus real quick before I move on. The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 12. It says, Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. We go back to, if you go back to Ezra 9, go back to Ezra 9 and 12. Hold up. Give me a second. Ezra chapter 9 and verse 12. All time. Ezra chapter 9, verse 12. Now therefore give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons, nor seek their peace or their wealth forever, that ye may be strong and eat the good of the land, and leave it for an inheritance to your children forever. Exodus 20 and 12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Let's go to the Apocrypha, to the book of Tobit. Let's go to the book of Tobit, chapter 4, and start at verse 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, and take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe. For we are the children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land. Let's go back to Exodus 20 and 12. One more time. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. The woman that you lay in has to be reminiscent of your mother's and your father's people. You can't lay in Mexicans and Indians. They don't look like your fathers and mothers. They came over here according to the curses on ships scattered to the four corners: Afro-Brazilian, Afro-Ecuadorian, Afro-Venezuelan, Afro-Cuban, Afro-Mexicana, Afro-American, Afro-British, we're all the same people with the same story. Those other people y'all try to include, no. That's a stumbling block. It's not by the seed of the father. Your mother matters as well. Don't honor your father, don't honor your mother, and see what happens. This is Tobit 4, Tobit chapter 4, verse 13. You don't keep the commandment. Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thine heart thy people, in not taking a wife of them, for in pride is destruction and much trouble, and in lewdness is decay and great want, for lewdness is the mother of famine. Well, Ezra said the same thing. Ezra said the same thing. Let's go to Ezra chapter 9 real quick. And let's see. Ezra said the exact same thing about the confusion of faces and hold on, excuse me. Give me 1 second. The confusion of faces and in captivity. Let me read it. I gotta read it so it comes out right. Let's start from verse 6. Ezra 9, verse 6. And said, O my God, I am ashamed and blush to lift up my face to thee, my God, for our iniquities are increased over our head, and our trespass is grown up into the heavens. Since the days of our fathers have we been in this great trespass. That's going all the way back to Genesis 6, the sons of God mixing with the daughters of men, unto this day. And for our iniquities have we, our kings and our priests, been delivered into the hands of the kings of the lands, to the sword, to captivity, and to a spoil, and to confusion of face as it is this day. That's what we just read in Tobit 4. When you don't take a woman of your tribe and you get into all these other women, the Lord cast us off. He just don't deal with us. Verse 13 again. Now, therefore, my son, love thy brethren and despise not in thy heart thy people, in not taking a wife of them, for in pride is destruction and much trouble, and in lewdness is decay and great want. For lewdness is the mother of famine. Do we not just read that, what Ezra just said? Since the days of our fathers have we been in great trespass unto this day. For our iniquities have we, our kings and our priests, been delivered unto the hand of the kings of the lands, to the sword, to captivity, to a spoil, and to confusion of face as it is this day. That's exactly what we just read in Tobit. We got mercy under Ezra to put away those wives and those heathen children. We could not seek after God and be connected to those heathens, whether they your children or not. So let's read Ezra chapter 10 real quick. I'm about to end this video. Now when Ezra prayed, and when he had confessed, weeping and casting himself down before the house of God, there assembled unto him out of Israel a very great congregation of men and women and children, for the people wept very sore. And Shechaniah, the son of Jehiel, one of the sons of Elam, answered and said unto Ezra, we have trespassed against our God and have taken strange wives of the people of the land. Yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this thing. Now therefore let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives and such as are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord, and of those that tremble at the commandment of our God, and let it be done according to the law. So we was to separate ourselves from those other women that you made babies with outside of the covenant. You wasted your time doing that. Those children are not counted for a seed unto you. We're not better than Abraham. No Israelite is better than Abraham. So it can't be, oh, you are what your father is. You are the seed of your father. Your mother is just as important. The wife of your covenant is just as important. Malachi, let's go back to Malachi 2 and get that one verse. Check this out. And did he not make one, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone? When I look across at my woman, she resembles me. She's just like me. Yet had he the residue of the spirit, and warfare one. And why did he make one? That he might seek a godly seed out of the Israelite woman, not any old woman. So Numbers 1 and 18 is a stumbling block for brothers in the truth. You see what I'm saying? Let's go to when I said, let's see what's going to happen if you joined up to them heathen, them other people, you married into them other nations, babies with them other nations, when Christ come back. Let's go to Isaiah 13, and I'm going to end it. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 13. Therefore will I shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, in the day of his fierce anger. And it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Look what's going to happen to your babies. Your children, their children, shall also be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, their wives ravished. So you see what's going to happen in the day of Christ? If you joined up into them other nations in marriage and with babies, going to kill your kids, going to spoil your house, and probably kill your wife for raping the hell out of her. And you dead. You dead too. You don't get away. See, under Ezra, as an Israelite man, you got that mercy to put away that heathen wife and them heathen children to make a covenant with God. Under Christ, you dead, and them kids, and your wife. I'm nobody. I don't claim to be. I just do this video for edification purpose. I hope somebody was edified. All praises to the Most High in Christ for the chance to do this video. I pray y'all be blessed. Shalom.